All right, let's go to the whole issue in Israel. We'll get to APEC as well. Bringing in an expert to join me now, Michael Shoebridge, Director of Strategic Analysis Australia. Michael, thank you. We've got absolutely clear evidence tonight, and I think the international community is digesting and reacting to it, that Hamas now has been proven to be using hospitals as terror bases, don't we?
Yes, we do, Peter. We have very compelling physical evidence direct about that Al-Shifa Hospital, particularly about the special facilities that Hamas built in the basement to hold hostages, and of course a whole lot of Hamas weaponry and tunnels connecting the hospital with Hamas leaders' houses.
This has long been, obviously, and I saw it myself personally, in and around the issues of Islamic State. This has been a playbook by some terror groups in the past. We know there was a cache of weapons found, AK-47s, explosives, and everything there today. What does this mean for charities and international organisations, and I think here of the UN and others, who have been raising money and donating money to Gaza's health system? Are they now complicit in Hamas terror?
Well, Peter, I think they have to admit that they've been actively used as human and international shields for a terrorist organisation. They can't pretend that this isn't happening. They must now acknowledge that Hamas has used, exploited and manipulated them, and the effect has been to enable the Hamas terrorists.
And of course, I say here too, for the Palestinian people there, money's been donated in good faith for their health, for their education, over many years since Israel left Gaza, well and truly over almost 2 decades ago. And that money's been misused for terror, hasn't it?
Yes. Yes, Peter, there is no good Hamas and bad Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist organisation who exists to exterminate the state of Israel and as many Jewish people as they can in the process. So the idea we could quarantine international assistance to good Hamas, delivering services to the Palestinians, and stop bad Hamas, the terrorists, getting access to it, is just nonsense.
I wish other experts, Michael Shoebridge, had your clarity on that issue. Let's go to the domestic issues inside the Home Affairs portfolio more broadly. Australia's National Cyber Security Coordinator has been recalled to defence. He's not been stood down formally. I think the term is recalled to deal with a workplace matter. We don't have a lot of clarity about what that is, but the government was supposed to put out its updated cyber security strategy next week. Unclear now what will happen there, and certainly cybersecurity is a big issue. But we also have the head of the Home Affairs portfolio, Michael Pezzullo, still under investigation for text messages. Now, either the messages were in breach of the Public Service Act or they won't, or they weren't. I don't understand why it takes nearly 4 months or so to have an investigation on that front. But, you've got two very senior players in Australia's national security apparatus, both stood aside. How concerning is this to you?
Well, Peter, this is like calling up a company and getting a call centre message. Your call is important, but the service has been interrupted. There is no next available operator to be the Secretary of Home Affairs or to be the Cyber Security Coordinator. These are key government roles that need to be filled urgently by highly capable people. And in the case of Darren Goldie, I just wonder how something could be so grave to have done what's happened. I hope for a very speedy resolution, but really these roles are too important to be leaving vacant or having temporary people step in.
I want to get your take on APEC too. We had that meeting today, highly stylised, as you'd expect, between Presidents Biden and Xi Jinping. They've both agreed to resume communication. That is a good thing. But Xi made it very clear he intends to reunite And I use that term loosely. The Taiwanese would say they've never been united at all with the mainland Chinese Communist Party, but he wants it back into one country. He's made it very clear that is unstoppable. That was the words used by Xi. Does this mean war, do you think?
Not necessarily, Peter, but I think you're right to see that the big thing out of the Xi-Biden meeting was two wary, distrustful leaders meeting without pretending they were doing anything but an arm wrestle. So Biden talked first off about being in competition with China and about needing to work with partners and allies and invest in American strength. And Xi pretty much said, I wish you'd stop doing everything you're doing and just let me get on with business. Such a contrast to the Albanese meeting. Biden looked like a wary statesman dealing with a very difficult adversary, and Albanese looked like a salesman delighted to get his foot in the front door.
Oh, you're so true to pick that up. You are so true to pick that up. We'll watch with interest, Michael Shoebridge. We'll see what the communique looks like when it comes out over the weekend. Thank you for your time. Thank you.